often when there are days where I'll get a lot of writing done, I'll get a lot of pages written. On those sort of rare days, the next day is always very, very weak. The next day, I'm never getting as much written down as I did the day prior, and it's not even close. There's no real carryover between, I think, sessions where you have a good session, all of a sudden you know the next one's going to be great. It never seems to work that way, and often it seems to be the opposite, where you write really, really strongly, and the next day you don't even write at all. At least for me, back before I started doing this every day, that's often how it would work. I would get a really good section written, and then the next day I would just take it off. Why? Well, you got obviously the kind of this the sort of chemical, dopamine hits and all that stuff from the good session the day before, and you're still kind of riding that sort of high into the next day and thinking, I don't need to do it today. No, I did really good yesterday. I'll come back tomorrow refreshed. And you sort of tell yourself those kind of like lies of like, hey, I'll come back refreshed. I'll come back, clear headed. I'll be ready to tackle this next section here. Just take today and don't burn yourself out. Just take today off. That's how it used to be. But even now that I write every day here doing this, it's still the next day is still very, very weak in comparison to the day before. What you're seeing here is just me kind of reading through what I actually had written over the past few days and just making small corrections. There wasn't a whole lot of new stuff written at all. It was just me going through, making adjustments, and just making kind of small edits as I go here on the stuff that I just wrote. That seems to be kind of like the life cycle. I think of writing. It's one of those unwritten rules there where the day after a good session it's never as strong. Going into I guess this week here, I've got one big chunk left to do at this point. So one large section, it's going to be probably about 20 pages double spaced at this point. And then I'm basically will be done with this particular section. Like the ending will have been written, and then I can focus on just doing revisions. And hopefully I don't have to rewrite anything else. Hopefully this is the last rewrite, and then we can get just more into the kind of the core revisions. I'm hoping. Yes, I am definitely hoping this is the case. So with that, here's hoping the rest of the week goes swimmingly here. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get that done. I've given myself basically the next 4 weeks to do it, which is awesome. So it shouldn't take particularly that long, but we'll see. I will be back tomorrow though, but until then, stay safe.